Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Morgan's Pop Talks, breaking down the latest in reality TV and pop culture. I mean, we all know why we've gathered here today. I almost feel like I'm performing the eulogy of Tom Sandoval, which I know is pretty messed up, but my gosh, has Tom Sandoval taken a fall in the past 7 days? And I know there might be some new listeners here today because this has been such a hot topic for now, close to 7 days. New information is coming out constantly. So if you want it from the beginning, start to finish, I got you. We're going to talk about maybe some misconceptions. We're going to talk about Tom specifically, Raquel specifically, and maybe what you can look for moving forward. But I have to tell you, I'm scrapping the whole normal sequence of my show. Normally we start in with the pop three, and those are quicker little stories, but no other Hollywood news is important besides the Scandoval. So we're only going to do the deep dive today. I mean, the only other thing that happened in reality TV and pop culture, in my opinion, the Real Housewives of Potomac Part 3 was a nothing burger. We had a new episode of Summer House this week, which was tragic. The only thing that happened was my correct prediction about Carl and Kyle, which, if you don't remember, I was saying, I think all of this turmoil between Carl and Kyle comes down to all these Loverboy events that Carl is doing and not getting paid for. Go back and listen to that episode. And I was right. So I just wanted to remind you that you should listen to me because I do get things right sometime. Also, before we start, I just want to say thank you to all of you who signed up for the newsletter, and my Patreon popped off this week, and I am so thankful. Every day is a grind when you're trying to make your dreams a reality, So just thank you. If you haven't joined the newsletter yet, like I said, it's totally free, and essentially I'm making things a little bit easier for you to navigate because, like I said, I know there is a lot going on. So I'll send you an email, not spamming you, but just with podcast links and Patreon links, and give you a little rundown of what's happening in the world of pop culture so you don't miss out on anything. So if you want to join that, there's still time. morganptalks.com, and then you'll see up at the top, there's just a little newsletter tab, and you subscribe. It's free, and you're supporting your girl, and I appreciate it. Okay. Today, we are doing the deep dive on the Scandoval. Tom Sandoval and Raquel Leviss, it has been revealed, have been having an affair for 7 months. And there is a lot to this scandal. We all remember where we were Friday, 3:00. I had just woken up from a nap, so I was feeling like a little fever dreamish. As soon as I open my eyes, whether it's at 5:15 in the morning when I normally wake up or 3:00 in the afternoon when I'm taking my nap, I automatically grab my phone and open Instagram. And I see all of these screenshotted headlines from TMZ. Tom Sandoval and Ariana Madix have called it quits. Allegations of cheating with Raquel Leviss. And I'm like, what? Come again? I was like, no, sick joke. This cannot be trusted. But then the longer and I don't even want to say the longer it went on, because it felt instantly, right? Where it's like, it was up for 20 minutes and you already had DJ James Kennedy posting it on his Instagram, and you had Ariana's brother commenting on James's post, and you had, Dana Adams entering the chat. And I'm like, what is going on? And I had that reaction. Remember when James went to Lisa Vanderpump's office and he was imitating, I think it was, who was it? Maybe Stassi, when James goes, why? I had that reaction multiple times over. I've said on my page, I'm going through the stages of grief. Like I was the one cheated on. At first, complete and utter shock. And then anger, like you just want to tear the whole place down. And now I'm in my sad girl era. And we'll get into that. But let's just start off. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, but you've seen this drama everywhere, here's the really, really rundown version of what you need to know. Three important couples right now in the Vanderpump sphere. You have Katie Maloney and Tom Schwartz, who were together for 12 years, married for 5, now are getting divorced. You had Ariana Madix and Tom Sandoval, who have been together for 9 years, aren't getting married because that's not what Ariana wanted in life in general, but they own a house together. They broke up on last Wednesday. And then you have James Kennedy and Raquel Leviss, who were together for 5 years, were engaged, but then called it off. We're in season 10 of Vanderpump Rules. So Tom and Katie have been together as long as we have known them on our television screens. And Ariana and Tom Sandoval have almost been together as long as they've been introduced to us on the screen. Of course, we met Tom Sandoval when he was with Kristen. People are drawing comparisons to that situation. I'll get to that a little bit later, but it's not important right now. And then obviously James and Raquel are more recent couple, even though they have been together for a long time. Season 10 revolves around a newly single Katie and Schwartz, a newly single James and Raquel. And everybody's up in arms because Raquel is going to kiss Tom Schwartz. That is what is the drama, right? That's the appeal of this season. Katie's like, please don't hook up with anybody in the friend group. Scheana's like, it's not a big deal. Raquel, you should just kiss him. And she says it, and then it gets stuck in Raquel's head. And then they end up kissing at Scheana's wedding. That's supposed to be the drama, right? Until you find out that the whole entire time that this season was being filmed, Raquel, single Raquel, was actually having a full-blown affair with taken Tom Sandoval, who was living with Ariana Madix, and they had been together for 9 years, okay? That's the spark notes. Let's get into how this actually unraveled. So it all started on Wednesday, a little over a week ago. In LA, Tom Sandoval had a show with his band, Tom Sandoval and the Most Extras. Ariana was there supporting him. Across the country, you had Raquel and Scheana. They were in New York City doing Watch What Happens Live. Looking back at that Watch What Happens Live episode, there were definitely some weird moments that raised some eyebrows. Andy asked both Scheana and Raquel which Tom is the hottest. They both said Sandoval. And in that moment, Scheana kind of looks at Raquel and I was like, huh? You know, like Scooby-Doo. I know that was a horrible impersonation of Scooby-Doo, but like that's what I was thinking in my head. She's like, I thought for sure you would say Schwartz, and that's why I said Sandoval. And actually, Andy on radio, Andy said this week that they had that conversation during a commercial break where Scheana looks at Raquel and was like, what? Why would you say Sandoval? I thought for sure you would say Schwartz. And Raquel said, well, Sandoval has abs. Okay. Okay. That's kind of weird. So according to TMZ, Ariana found out because at that show that they were out, Sandoval's phone dropped out of his pocket, and I guess she picked it up. I've seen a couple different things about what it is exactly that Ariana saw. So I saw that a video popped up, and then she saw some inappropriate text messages between Sandoval and Raquel. I've also read that it was in his camera roll, and she saw a video of a FaceTime between Raquel and Sandoval that was inappropriate, to say the least, right? So I read that Ariana ended things pretty much immediately. And not long after that is when Scheana and Raquel found out. So these reports are, I don't know if Ariana called Raquel or if Ariana called Scheana, but Scheana also found out on Wednesday night. And I have heard that Scheana, it's so hard to keep these everything straight. You guys, it's so hard. I heard that Ariana called Scheana to get in touch with Raquel because she couldn't get in touch with Raquel. And that's when Scheana found out there's allegations that Scheana punched Raquel, which we'll get into that too. I've also heard that Raquel was on the phone with Ariana on her phone, and that when Scheana figured out what was going on, she threw Raquel's phone across the street, pushed her into the wall, and then punched her. So I don't know which one of those are true. I'm sure, because they're filming. Cameras are rolling right now, so I'm sure we'll get more context as to what actually happened between Scheana and Raquel at a later date. So that all happens on Wednesday. It's festering within the friend group, right? We all found out on Friday on TMZ. Like I said, Vanderpump, Tom Sandoval, and Ariana Maddox call it quit. Allegations he cheated with co-star Raquel Leviss. And like I said, at first I didn't believe it. I thought, no way, until I saw all of the people that were associated with this start posting about it. So they did confirm that cameras went back up and that this will be included in season 10 of Vanderpump Rules, which, like I said, is currently airing. So how far back does this affair go? Allegedly, July of 2022. So a 7-month affair. You know, you've seen now that they've been wearing these matching lightning bolt necklaces to secretly profess their love, which I have a little tidbit of information on those. I'll get to it later. I'm just laying the groundwork that they were sneaking around from everyone, but also doing it right in front of Ariana's face, you know, hanging out in group settings. Tom dressed up as Raquel for Halloween, which honestly, people are looking back at that moment and they're like, how did we not know that when Tom Sandoval dressed up as Raquel for Halloween, that was like a secret message? At the time, we all thought it was a dig at Katie Maloney, right? Because Katie Maloney had just come off the heels of shooting the season where Raquel kisses Schwartz and is calling her a fangirl. And, you know, Raquel shows up to BravoCon in the Tom hoodie. And we're all thinking that Raquel is stirring the pot when it comes to Tom Schwartz. But really, Raquel is just letting her secret mans know that she's in love with him. So that's unfortunate. Also, you know, Ariana and Raquel dressed up together on Halloween as like friend costumes. It just has been absolutely ridiculous. So like I said, rumors that things got physical. Scheana and Ariana have been friends for over a decade. And while it's not confirmed that she punched Raquel in the face, Raquel's sister implied something happened on Twitter in a conversation with Charlie, who you've seen on the show. Charlie tweeted, "At the end of the day, no one deserves to feel this gut punch. To say I'm disappointed would be an understatement." Raquel's sister then responded and said, "Nor punched in the face." I'm paraphrasing because that conversation has since been deleted, but there's also legal documents floating around the internet that appears to be a restraining order from Rachel, which is Raquel's real name, by the way. I've had people be like, "Who's Rachel?" in my DMs. I'm like, it's Raquel. I guess it's a stage name. You don't need a stage name to be on Vanderpump Rules when you work at SUR. It's absurd to me. Okay, anyways. So a restraining order from Rachel to Scheana. It's unclear right now if a judge granted Raquel's request or even, you know, what she's specifically alleging that Scheana did to her. According to the document, the court hearing is on March 29th. I don't see how a restraining order could be granted in this situation. Obviously, I don't have a whole lot of experience with restraining orders, or any for that matter. But from what I understand, I don't think like a one-time brawl between friends is like Raquel's life is in danger and she needs to be away from this person. There are people out there that think this could be a ploy for Raquel to get out of going to the Vanderpump Rules reunion, which is supposed to film in 2 weeks. Okay, let's get into Tom Sandoval first. Here's what we know about Sandy. He has released 2 different apologies. He has been filming, and it's been alleged that he's threatening to stop filming Vanderpump Rules. I don't know if that means just right now or if he's threatening to quit the show. So the first apology came on Saturday, and it was written in the Notes app. It says, "Hey, I fully understand and deserve your anger. You are." Okay, not even spell the whole word. Tom Sandoval. Okay, anyways. "Deserve your anger and disappointment towards me, but please leave Schwartz, my friends, and family out of the situation." He continues, "Schwartz specifically only found out about this very recently and most definitely did not condone my actions. This was a very personal thing." He says, also, Schwartz and Sandy's might have my name on it, but also there are 3 other partners and 20 employees who especially rely on the restaurant for income for them and their families. He, I believe, released that because people were flooding the Schwartz and Sandy's Yelp reviews, just tearing the restaurant apart. And while I'm not going to go on Yelp and write a review about Schwartz and Sandy's, I think it's kind of lame, that people did that in droves. But also, I don't think you can be mad or be surprised even that people would. Like it's the day and age that we live in. You can't, and a lot in that apology, he's like, please separate me from the business. And there are other people that rely on this business to feed their families. And I get that, but you also can't build a business off of your face and your name and then beg people to disassociate when you're going through bad publicity. You can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't say, come to Tom, come to Schwartz and Sandy's where you see our restaurants on Vanderpump Rules and bright lights. And then as soon as you get bad PR, you're like, oh, but it's not just me, It's just a stretch to think that people would be able to disassociate like that. So the second apology written by publicists, in my opinion, because he actually spells the word "you're" out, Y-O-U-R, but was specifically to Ariana. So it says, I want to first and foremost apologize to everyone I've hurt through this process. Most of all, I want to apologize to Ariana. I made mistakes. I was selfish and made reckless decisions that hurt somebody I love. No one deserves to feel that pain so traumatically and publicly. Some of our best times together were never filmed. The same goes for our biggest struggles. He ended it by saying, I will continue to reflect and work on myself. I have work to do. I always have and always will. That's a very condensed version. I think it's funny. He says, I want to first and foremost apologize to everyone I've hurt. It's like, no, you first and foremost apologize to your business partners and Tom Schwartz. Which, I guess is everyone he's hurt. But, he says most of all Ariana, which wasn't even included in the first statement, which was just so wild to me. I don't know if he was simply trying to protect his business. And that was it. I think that was pretty apparent. So we know that Tom and Ariana have since filmed a scene together where, according to reports, he gave multiple excuses on why he couldn't break things off with her. She's been very open about her mental health in the past. Her grandma passed away recently. Other things, I guess, that were used against her, because having a 7-month affair and then having it come out publicly is so much better. But the two live together and they both own the house and both are currently still living there. There were photos of him when this came out on Friday, leaving the house with big bags. I've seen some people, we all speculated he's moving out, but I've seen some people saying that it was actually just Tom Sandoval and the Most Extras merch that he planned on selling at his Anaheim show that night. I'm not sure how much money he made that night, but I would think he probably didn't sell out those duffels, He also filmed a scene with Raquel. There were paparazzi photos shown of him entering her building. Now, this is where I've seen conflicting reports, although I'm leaning more one way. I've seen some things say that they're in love, that they want to be together, that they share a kiss on camera. I've seen others that say Tom is threatening to quit Vanderpump Rules because he believes the scene with Raquel is going to paint him in a negative light. So a source told ET, Tom wasn't happy with how the scene went with Raquel and felt like it was going to paint him in a negative light. He told producers he'd like to refilm the scene, but producers weren't having it. Tom told production that he would no longer shoot Vanderpump if they didn't listen to him. So what is this negative light? We'll get into Raquel now. And just a little sidebar, the Toms were supposed to go to Winter House next week. I don't think that's going to be happening. So Raquel has been pretty quiet until, I know it's Thursday, yesterday. She posted her statement. We'll get to it. But we've been getting a lot of tidbits of information about what is going on in Raquel's world through Dumois, which you know how I feel about Dumois. You have to take everything with a grain of salt, but a lot of the stuff actually turned out to be pretty accurate. So this was posted to Dumois on Saturday. It says Raquel fired her PR team yesterday, which not so coincidentally was the same as Tom Sandoval's PR. Her new team is already on the offensive, crafting a narrative that Raquel is also a victim in all this. When she films with Sandoval later today, she's been advised and is planning to break things off with him. And those are the paparazzi photos that you saw of him going into her house. Okay, back to the post. TBD if that happens. The plan is to then go after him for the screen recording of the FaceTime session without Raquel's consent, which was uncovered by Ariana on Sandoval's phone and led to the unraveling of events. They're planning to allege that Sandoval took advantage of Raquel while she was in a vulnerable moment in life, clouding her judgment, then recording intimate videos without her knowledge. She will then go on an apology tour, relaying that she's devastated by what has unfolded and for betraying one of her best friends, Ariana. At present, Raquel is not taking responsibility for her role in this affair. She's more concerned with correcting the record on the video than taking accountability for the hurt she's caused. And just for the record, she didn't have these ideas nor plans to distance from Sandoval until her new PR relayed their strategy to try to save her image. Okay, so that was on Saturday. Then we didn't hear anything for a while, and this was her what's the word I'm looking for? Statement. Yes, today. That was first given through Entertainment Tonight, which raises some red flags to me, says she was compensated for giving the exclusive to an online news publication, but she also later posted it to her own Instagram. It says, I want to apologize for my actions and my choices, foremost to Ariana and to my friends and the fans so invested in our relationships. There is no excuse. I am not a victim and I must own my actions, and I deeply regret hurting Ariana. I'm reflecting on my choices, speaking to a counselor, and I'm learning things about myself, such as my patterns of codependency and addiction to being and feeling loved. I have sought emotional validation through intimate connections that are not healthy without regard for my own well-being, sometimes negatively affecting others and often prioritizing the intimate connection over my friendships. I'm taking steps to understand my behavior and make healthier choices. Part 2. Although I chose to be on a reality show, accepting the good and the bad that comes with it, beyond my own actions, I have been physically assaulted, lost friendships, received death threats, and hate emails, in addition to having had my privacy violated. I've begun counseling to end my unhealthy behavioral cycle, learn to set stronger emotional boundaries, and learn to protect my mental health. I don't expect sympathy, understanding, or forgiveness. Right now, I must focus on my own health and well-being. As I strive to be a better person moving forward, I will prioritize my mental health and learn from my mistakes. I have heard that Raquel has left LA and that she is with her family. Let's get into some misconceptions, and then I'll give you my thoughts because you know I got them. It has been said that this is all for ratings, that Vanderpump Rules the past couple of years has been declining ever so swiftly, and that they needed a big bombshell to shake things up. I understand the argument, but it's real. This really happened. And when you think about it, do you think that Tom Sandoval and Raquel Leviss would blow up their life, blow up their reputation for one good season of Vanderpump Rules? Like, the pros don't outweigh the cons in that argument. So I don't believe that is true. Patrick Summers. Who is Patrick Summers? Have you heard this Julia narrative, which I'm not even going to get into it because it's so, first of all, fake and defamatory, quite honestly. But this guy, Patrick Summers, made a post that Tom Sandoval has been cheating with another woman named Julia, that it was a little bit more severe in what happened between the two of them. It's totally false. Patrick has done the same exact situation with the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, pretending to work for Kathy Hilton to take Lisa Rinna down, doctoring DMs between himself and Kathy, doctoring DMs between him and Lisa, completely deactivating his account once things get sticky. And that's exactly what he's done here. If you saw a DM between Patrick Summers and Tom Sandoval, it was fake, and don't believe it. So there's another headline out there that Raquel is coming at the cast, sending legal letters because she believes the video is being shared amongst people. It is not being shared amongst the cast. I have been told that Tom is the only person that has the video, and that, there was something that said Ariana sent it to herself. No, none of that happened. The lightning bolt necklaces, well, yes, are a secret love language, or whatever the heck you want to call it. A little bit of context that you should know about the lightning bolt is that Tom Sandoval had the lightning bolt necklace long before Raquel did. The Tom symbol also has a lightning bolt in it. So it was part of their branding initially, but I guess along the way it became, an inside whatever between Raquel and Tom. So Coachella. There are theories that, because the first rumor came out that Raquel made out with Schwartz at Coachella. We all know now that Schwartz wasn't there. And some people are like, oh, well, she must have kissed Sandoval then at Coachella because Sandoval was there. Every little intel that I've gotten, they did not kiss at Coachella, that they were always in a group setting, that there was never a time that Raquel and Tom were alone. Ariana was there. So don't believe that. Did Tom Schwartz know? And this is an interesting debate because I'm going to be honest. At first, I thought Tom Schwartz did know, especially when you consider the fact that Tom Schwartz also has some skeletons in his closet that he's trying to keep covered up. Like he has a live-in girlfriend named Joe that has lived with him from November. You're starting to see snippets of it pop up on Vanderpump Rules. I mean, she's mentioned in one of the episodes. You see like some of her bracelets and her keys left on his countertop. But, when you look at this in the whole perspective, it does seem kind of fishy, right? Where everyone's pushing, well, not everyone, but you get it, pushing Raquel and Schwartz together. Now you know that because behind the scenes, Sandoval is running around with Raquel. And you also know that Tom Schwartz wants to keep his live-in girlfriend a secret. If you want to know more about the live-in girlfriend, we talked about it. We did a deep dive about it, I think 2 episodes ago. So you can go listen to that. I think I have since changed my opinion, and I'm reserving my opinion until I see what Schwartz does at the end of this season. But Ariana was his friend too. And two people, Sandoval and Raquel, are capable of this level of deceit. I really want to believe that Tom Schwartz is not, because I do believe that Tom Schwartz is a little bit softer, maybe to a fault. Lala might call it weak, but I think I don't think that he would have it in him to keep it a secret for that long and be totally cool with it. So Stassi addressed all of her thoughts on her podcast, Straight Up with Stassi. She said that she also doesn't know if Schwartz knew, but said it sounds like something Sandoval definitely would have come up with. She said he would be like, this would be a great way to cover up. It's a cover up. And Raquel would kind of go along with it. So I can't say that I disagree with her on that. We've seen Kristen come to Ariana's side pretty quickly. There's rumors that she's in talks to join season 10. By the time we all listen to this, we will have seen Lisa Vanderpump on Watch What Happens Live. I think Brittany and Jax are going to be there. So they're coming out in droves because this is just insanity. Okay, so let's get to my thoughts. I don't want to. Okay, let me start by saying that I went back and rewatched all of this season. There's only 4 episodes out. So like the rest of you, probably I'm like, I got to look for clues. There has to be clues. And, I've even said this in recapping as we're watching in real time. Raquel clearly is unwell, I don't want to say that it's just that she's heartbroken over James. you can tell that she is going through sort of like an identity crisis. And I'm not saying this at all to excuse her behavior and her poor choices, because I believe two things can be true at the same time. She can be spiraling and questioning everything about her identity after her split from James, not in a good headspace. And she can also be willingly participating in the deception of everyone around her and thinking it's cute, you know? Two things can happen at the same time. But what I specifically found interesting was watching back the scene between Lala, Katie, and Raquel, where they're all sitting down having drinks, and they're talking about the possibility of Raquel hooking up with Schwartz. And you remember we all had the reaction like, what is she doing? Like, they're talking about Sheena trying to set this up, and Raquel's like, well, I wouldn't date him. I would maybe like kiss him. And Lala and Katie are like, what? And I mean, you remember what I said about Lala. You trying to get popped? Like, we all remember. She's like, there'll be bodies on the ground before you kiss Schwartz. And I just found it so odd that she said it so nonchalantly in front of Katie and Lala. And it made me think, watching it the second time around, does she not understand the gravity of it? Does she truly not understand it? But then I think she does, because she then gets emotional about Lala's revelation that Lala and James hooked up at the beginning of their relationship. So it's just very confusing how, with everything that we know now, how can she sit in those confessionals and say, Lala is such a which Lala is a hypocrite, but Lala is such a hypocrite for judging me for wanting to make out with Schwartz when she was with my boyfriend, all the while knowing you're having a full-blown affair? How can she even sit and have that conversation with James in the park, with Graham running around in the back, like searching for his bones? Like, I'm so confused. She's like, really? I was so loyal to you, and you did this knowing that she's months into an affair with Tom Sandoval. Is she disassociating? Is she acting? Is she not like firing on all cylinders? It's so bizarre to me. And then you have Sandoval's confessionals where he's like, I don't want to end up like Schwartz and Katie. Ariana has always been so supportive. I mean, that one really got me. I remember he was talking about like how the bar can rip a family apart. He's like, I really just don't want to end up like Schwartz and Katie, knowing that that's exactly what was going to happen. And it's like, are they just liars? Like, point blank, that they want to put on a facade for this show? Which, it's like, if you're just honest, even a little bit honest, it's a lesser blow. Even if Tom Sandoval would be like, Ariana and I have been having a lot of problems, of course, people would still be mad about this, but they wouldn't be as shocked. Because that's my thing, is that this all was just so shocking. The fact, A, that they broke up, B, that he had an affair, and C, that it was with Raquel. And I'm getting a lot of these comments of like, this isn't worse than Jax and Kristen or any of Lala's indiscretions. It is. It's way different, because with Jax and Kristen, first of all, Jax and Stassi weren't even dating when it happened. It happened twice. And yeah, it took a while for them to own up to it, but like, everyone moved on. They were younger, which I know isn't an excuse, but it's just something to take into consideration. This is way worse. This is a betrayal on every angle of the diagram. It's a betrayal from your serious life partner that you live with. It's a betrayal from a girl that you have been befriending, taking to your partner's shows with you. It's been happening for 7 months. They're so like sick in the head that they want to send subliminal messages to each other in front of Ariana, while Ariana's just thinking she's being a supportive friend and girlfriend. And, you know, people always want to bring it back to 10 years ago. Well, you'd hope in 10 years that Sandoval would grow up. You would hope that, okay, Ariana and Sandoval made out one time when he was with Kristen, but then you see their relationship span 9 years and you see maybe a facade that they put on Vanderpump Rules, and you think, well, clearly they were meant to be together. You know, they were young when the situation with Kristen happened. Like, this is where they're supposed to be. But it's not. It was a lie. So like I said, I went through the shock phase, I went through the anger phase, and now I'm in my sadness era. I'm in my sad girl era. I'm sad for Ariana, although honestly, I feel like at the end of the day, she's going to walk out of this on top of the world. She's going to be perfectly fine. I'm really sad, and I'm going to be honest, this might be an unpopular opinion, but I'm sad because I loved the Toms. I loved them. I loved Sandoval. I loved Schwartz. I loved the two of them together. I wanted to have my bachelorette party in LA. I wanted to go to Tom Tom. I wanted to go to Schwartz and Sandy's. Like, I sang their praises when they were on Winter House. I mean, you can go back and look at any video I made about Winter House. I would say every single one, the Toms saved the show because they did. They're fun. They're happy. You want to be around them. And this, it's like broken my heart. I'm going to reserve my opinion on Schwartz, like I said, until I see how he acts once all this has come out. But like, I also just can't believe that Sandoval would be so short-sighted. Like, everything that you have worked for is now compromised. Your businesses primarily succeed because of Vanderpump Rules fans. You have to know your audience. These are, like, let's just face it, mostly women, 25 to 50 years old, that watch Vanderpump Rules that don't like cheaters, liars, and wouldn't want to support a business of that nature. You know, I mean, my bachelorette party, perfect example. I wanted to just have a ball. I wanted to go to Sir, Pump, Tom Tom, Schwartz, and Sandy's. And now I'm like, I can't go there. And Sandoval shows. I mean, does he not think that 99% of the people that are going to his shows are fans of the show? Did they think that they were going to be able to walk out of this hand in hand, strolling down the Santa Monica Boulevard, waving to paparazzi while people threw candy at them like they were in some kind of St. Patrick's Day parade? Like, I just don't know what they expected out of all of this. And look, I'm an empath, okay? So all of these emotions have been running through my head, and I'm starting to get to the point where, like, I am worried about Sandoval and Raquel because I don't want anybody to get to, like, the seriously dark mental health space. I don't think people should be sending death threats to Tom and Raquel by any stretch of the imagination. But I also don't think that you get to be a victim in the mess that you made. You made your bed. You have to lie in it. If you want to have a 7-month affair while you have been on reality television chronicling your life for the past 10 years and you expect people not to be pissed about this, I'm sorry. They're going to be mad about it. We still have a lot to unpack in the season of Vanderpump Rules. I mean, I haven't watched tonight's episode yet, but, you know, we're going to see Raquel with Oliver, Garcelle's son, and something along the same lines of her wanting to feel validated and maybe having this love addiction. I think that is part of it. And I also think that Tom, while he's always been a narcissist, I thought he was like a good narcissist. You know, like, he's kind of quirky and sure, he's all into himself, but he's doing it to create businesses and to have this band. And at this point, though, it's gotten to the level of the narcissism. He wants a groupie, you know? And Raquel showing up to every Tom Sandoval, the most extras shows with Ariana, without Ariana, you know, being the number one fan. I think he found maybe what he was looking for. Look, you know, you got a problem when James Kennedy is looking like the hero in all this. You got a big problem when James Kennedy is on the right side of history. So I don't know, you guys. I think a lot is still going to come out about this. I think if anything, you can support Katie and Ariana. And I know, like, I have this thought a lot too. The show was built on unlikable characters, right? Jax, Kristen, even though I like Kristen. I like a good villain every now and then. Because they all like cheated on each other, except for who? Ariana Madix. And except for who? Brittany didn't cheat. Katie Maloney didn't cheat, but it's like, man, never go against the family. That is Katie Maloney and Ariana Madix. All right. Woo-hoo-hoo. Deep breath. We did it. I didn't hyperventilate like I thought I was going to. So that's good. Hopefully I'll be able to sleep better at night now, because I've had all of those thoughts running rampant through my head for the past 7 days. Incredible that this has just taken over all of our lives. If you haven't left a review yet, please do so. I don't think I've had a review since like the last week of February, which was only 2 weeks ago, but still feels like an eternity in podcast land. So give me a 5-star review. I love you like a sis. Make sure to subscribe to the newsletter. I'm also going to be giving away some things to my subscribers as well, and it's free. So morganptalks.com, you'll see the little, I don't know. I'm brain dead. There's a little thing you can type your email into. I got to go, okay? I need to go decompress. And honestly, it's Wednesday right now for me, so watch Vanderpump Rules and watch what happens live, okay? See you next week. Love you like a sis.